Well, howdy folks, and welcome back to the garage. Today we got something out of the ordinary. It's the Lupus of Valkyria Chronicles fame. Within the Chronicles, Lupus was commanded by General Jaeger of the Empire during the invasion of Southern Gallia and appeared in both chapters 5 and 17 as a boss tank. Here in Blitz, Lupus is a tier 7 heavy tank that, if I had to guess, pulls a lot of influence from the TIer I. The suspension looks like TIer I's, and the hull is armored like TIer I with 100mm on the front and 80mm on the sides and rear. From the front, KV3 with 122mm D25T and its 175mm of pen sees this. And yet, when you put a TIer I in front of a KV3, you see this. I would have expected the lower glacis plate on the Lupus to not be so red. It's no better angle than the TIer I's lower glacis. The Lupus upper glacis, though, that's bouncy like a flat stone on a calm lake. Here's something to keep in mind, folks, and it bodes well for Lupus. KV3's top gun has the same punch and power that Lupus will be facing until you get to fully upgraded Tier 8 Soviet heavies, and with that trend towards IS spam these days, Lupus should do well in that battle scenario. Seen here, a Panther equipped with the L175mm sporting 198mm of penetration and at only a 20-meter distance to the mildly angled Lupus, doesn't have many places to shoot where it can pen reliably. That's a lot of red there, people. Someone getting around to your sides and rear, on the other hand, is a completely different story altogether, as you can see here in this shot from a KV3 with the top gun and regular AP loaded. The turret has 130mm of frontal armor and what looks like a very strong gun mantlet. Side and rear turret armor, though, is quite light at 45mm, so do try and keep your turret front pointed at the enemy and waggle your turret back and forth a little to throw your enemy off as they try to aim for the weak spots on the turret front. Sitting on top of the turret is the coaxial Uranus 9mm machine gun, which it turns out is a hitbox, and it's easy to pen. As well, the turret ring is exposed and either lucky or well-aimed shots may be able to damage it. If you can't throw your enemy's aim off enough to bounce the shot, you will have to trade away some of your 1300 hit point health pool, and that health pool is quite in line with Tier 7. Heavy tanks will likely have some trouble fighting Lupus head-on, but more mobile lights and mediums will fare much better if they can get around to the sides and rear. While Lupus does seem to be inspired by the TIer I chassis, it is not blessed with TIer I's current specs. Just over 15 horsepower per ton, a hull traverse speed of 30 degrees, and a turret traverse of just 21.59 degrees. In close knife fighting is not the strong suit of the Lupus, but the 36 km/h top speed is quite alright for a heavy tank and will serve you well as you travel the battlefield applying your weight where it's needed. Within the Chronicles, Lupus was packing the Mostella D25T 43 and the 122mm cannon, but here in Blitz, Wargaming has mounted a weapon called the Mostella 120mm gun, which seems to have all the specs of the D25T family of guns. Whether mislabeled or meant to be there as is, the D25T specs shine through with average pen of the AP ammo at 175mm, APCR spiciness at 217mm of average penetration, and average damage of the AP is a familiar 400 hit points, while under the new ammo regime, spicy APCR only does 340 hit points of damage. Classically bad dispersion of 0.413, and a glacial aiming time of 4.7 seconds and a rate of fire of 4.54 rounds per minute eliminate sniper as one of the roles for this vehicle, but that's quite alright as it should do reasonably well with peekaboo brawling, I think. While Lupus is a fantasy tank, as some like to call them, heck, even I call them that, it has reasonable specs that are in line with other Tier 7 heavy tanks. That armor angling, though, may cause Heavy some serious concern when engaging Lupus head-on, so be prepared to unload some gold at it, or get around the sides and rear where the mediocre armor thicknesses will provide opportunities to penetrate. Well, folks, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. If you really enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments. As well, be sure to visit my social media pages, both on Facebook and Twitter. This is where I post info that, well, not belonging in a video, it's worth taking a look at. I would also like to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters. You folks are making a huge difference for me. If you like what I do and enjoy the community all of us humans are building, please consider supporting the mission via my Patreon page. There are quite a few options with varying levels of support. Maybe one of them will suit you. Links to all things in the video description. Alright folks, thanks very much for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you next time.